All right, tribe, what you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Family or Fiancé Season 2, Episode 2. So we are dealing with Chase and Erica. Chase and Eric. I'm sorry. Eric. No disrespect, Eric. Eric. Chase and Eric, they have been together for 7 years. They are engaged to be married. Their marriage was supposed to take place 2 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks after this was actually being filmed, which was September of 2019. So, let's go and talk about Chase and Eric. So, like I said, they've been dating for 7 years. She said she met him right out of undergrad. And their biggest issues that they think that the family... they met because she lost her cell phone one night. And he returned the cell phone to her. And basically... that's how it started, and they went out on a date, and that was it. Like, they were together ever since. So, their two biggest issues are infidelity and money. Come to find out, Eric cheated on Chase, and at first, the way they said it at first, it made it seem like he cheated the night before he proposed to her. But then, come to find out, I think that's when the affair started, and he was cheating for 6 months. And as this episode went on, it got deeper and deeper. We got more and more information about how bad this whole affair situation went. Because again, in the beginning, I was like, oh, he had like a little one night stand. Maybe he got nervous about proposing, that finality of everything, and he kind of had an oopsie. But no, he had a full-fledged affair for 6 months. And basically, the question was asked of him, like, it was like, well, did you stop because you got caught, or did you stop because you realized you were doing the wrong thing? And basically, he stopped because he got caught. And the question was, well, how long were you going to keep up the affair? Basically, until the wedding. He was going to stop when they got married. Okay. So here's who's showing up for I think it was the same people as far as the same relationship. So it was the mom, the cousin, and the best friend. On both sides is who showed up, I believe. I hope I said that. I hope I got that right. So for their first exercise, this seemed like a long weekend. They had a lot going on their weekend. So the first exercise was Eric was going to sit down and do a money management project. Like, breaking down his finances. And she was going to do a timeline of their relationship. So here's some things that we found out. Y'all know when I do this Family or Fiancé, I'm all over the place. So it may not go in the exact order, but you're gonna get what I got to give you. Okay. So when they first got there, while they were waiting for the family to show up, Eric said, "Hold on, I gotta go upstairs." And she was like, "Oh, I know what that means. You about to go turn up." I knew right there we had an issue. Because here's why. There are two reasons why I know that's an issue. As someone who has done this regularly, when you gotta go upstairs to your luggage, and her first thing out of her mouth was, because you're going to go turn up, that means that she know that you brought liquor with you. Okay? So in your luggage, you had liquor. Now, from what I can tell, they provide wine, beer kind of thing. That means you had the liquor with you. Okay? And you was ready to set it up. All right? The fact that that's the first thing you had to do as soon as y'all got there, tell me there's a problem. Houston, we got a problem. When they were talking about the money situation, she said that he spends way too much money partying. Part of the reason why it's taking them so long to get married is because weddings are expensive, and it's been hard for them to save the money to do what they wanted to do as far as what they wanted for the wedding. His attitude was, I work hard, I should be able to enjoy myself from time to time. Which is true, but there is such thing as too much enjoying yourself. The infidelity is still a very big issue. She has not forgiven him, and it almost seems like, I tell y'all all the time, don't say you forgive me and then you want to keep throwing it in my face, because then you haven't really forgiven me. I'd much rather you tell me that you just can't forgive me, or you don't forgive me, rather you tell me you forgive me, but every time you get mad at me or something don't go your way, you want to bring up the fact that I slept with somebody. Like, don't do that. I'd rather us just break up. So when they're sitting down with the family, again, infidelity and the money are the things that the family brings up. Come to find out, Chase has called Eric's mama and cussed Eric's mama out talking about this the motherfucker that you raised. Excuse me? Excuse me? Listen, Chase's own mama was like I didn't raise. She talking about is that who he raised? I didn't raise her to talk to people mama like that. Her best friend and cousin were both like. She said, well, no wonder they don't like you. Like, because again, both families were like, you know, like Chase's family was very knew that Eric's family ain't really like Chase, and Eric's family felt like Chase was the crazy girlfriend, and so both of them got a chance to understand where both of that comes from. So her family was like, well, we understand why they don't like you. If you calling up his mama, cussing his mama out, first of all, Eric, you a better one than me, because it ain't no way in hell I would still be dating somebody that disrespected my mama. You lost your damn mind. So you a better one than me. That's number one. Number two, I understand why they don't fuck with you. You crazy? Then, and of course, the infidelity came up, and Eric had to stand there and take it. Like, you got to stand there and take it, dude. And so on the flip side, when they were doing the timeline with Chase, and she went through the timeline of their relationship, they understood why she is the crazy girlfriend when they realized, because they thought that they didn't realize how deep this affair situation went. Come to find out, y'all, listen to this. Eric was dressing up in his work uniform for a job he ain't had no more, lying to her. She was taking him to the train station to go to this imaginary job to spend time with the mistress. And that's why I said, oh, so this wasn't no one night stand thing. This was an ongoing situation. She was coming in from out of town to see him. They're from Atlanta. They live in Atlanta. She wasn't from Atlanta. She was coming in from out of town to see him. Girl, the deeper this thing got, I see. Then, so let's talk about these exercises. So the timeline. What we found out with the timeline is in the 7 years that they've been together, we know about the infidelity, money problems. She went through a depression because they were trying to have a child, and they went to the doctor to find out why she wasn't conceiving. Now, why they was trying to, not my business. Nope. When they went to go find out why she wasn't conceiving, I guess they went to a fertility specialist. They found out that it's basically him, his weight, and like different things going on with his health, the drinking, the blood pressure, all of that stuff. And so she was frustrated with him because she felt like he wasn't doing what the doctors told him that he needed to do in order to get healthy, that would up their chances of her conceiving. And she said that as a result, she went to a deep depression. And she was depressed, and she was dealing with a deep depression. And that's kind of when the affair happened. Because I guess things were just really bad. And he, looked for comfort from somebody else. Again, though, this is when he proposed. So in the midst of the depression and you having an affair, you thought that was the best time to say, I want to be with you the rest of my life. Child. Now, as far as the money is concerned, they broke down. He makes $3,500 a month. They broke down the rent, the car note. Their car note is $600 a month. I don't give a fuck if you're driving a Hummer. Your car note is $600 a month. What y'all driving that your car note is $600 a month? I said, somebody got horrible credit. Horrible credit. If your car note is $600 a month. Then they said the car insurance is high because she's got a bad driving record. And then she then went on and said something about that she's going blind. I don't know if should you be driving? I don't know. Okay. Then he talked about their budget for alcohol, and the mother was like, yeah, that's what I want to know, because I want to see how much money y'all spending in alcohol. Now, she ain't say him, she said y'all. So this seems like it's not just him that's doing all this drinking, it's both of them that's doing all this drinking. And he talking about some $300 a month. You spending $300 a month on alcohol? Maybe I don't drink enough. I don't know. $300 a month? Is that a lot of alcohol? Y'all tell me in the comments. Maybe that ain't a lot. Maybe it's just me. I feel like that's a lot of damn alcohol. Especially if you call yourself, y'all supposed to be cutting back because y'all trying to have a baby and y'all trying to save money. Like, those are the types of things you could just cut back on. Like, you don't have to drink every night. And you don't have to drink hard liquor every night. You know, anyway. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just old, y'all. So then, they got to the end. He only had $45 in his hand. He was like, you know what? This is what I needed. Like, I didn't realize. He said, $45 is all I got left. That don't include, we didn't put no money in no savings. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. This is what I needed to see. And I'm thinking to myself, they did that on the Cosby Show with Theo with Monopoly money. Like, you needed to. That's what you needed in order to understand that you were spending too much money on alcohol and not enough money. Like, that's what you needed to see. Maybe I need to know how old they are. Maybe they just real young. But she said she was just getting out of undergrad, and that was 7 years ago, which means you got to be knocking on 30. If you're not already 30, you got to be knocking on 30. If you came out of undergrad at 21, 22, you're knocking on 30. I'm sorry. I know that I ain't have all the answers at 30, and I wasn't making all the best decisions with my money at 30, but I knew why. I knew what the fuck I was doing wrong. I just didn't stop doing it. Anyway, so then on the other side, when they were doing the timeline, his family realized, the family was like, okay, well, no wonder you the crazy girlfriend. Like, we see why you the crazy girlfriend, because that's what you were doing. You were making up a whole job, pretending to go to a whole job. So that's when his mama and his two friends, his cousin and his best friend was like, dude, it's wild. Like, now we understand why you be tripping sometimes. Like, again, that is not justifying that girl cussing his mama out, but you kind of understand where it's coming from a little bit. And she did apologize. She said, and I owe you an apology. She said, it doesn't matter. I'm wrong. And no, I wasn't raised to talk to adults that way. And so I was wrong. And I apologize for, so she did. She gave a sincere apology for it. She did. And the mother accepted it. Now, I feel like, again, I understand where it was coming from, but I'm just like, girl. So that night they have dinner, and here's where I really got confused. So they were having dinner, and when it seemed like her mother was basically saying, he told us today that he was going to have the affair. If he hadn't got caught, he was going to keep having the affair until you got married. And her mother was talking to her, and her mother was giving her some tough love and was like, so this is what I don't understand. So you cool with that? Like, this man told you that he had no intention of stopping his infidelity until he literally walked down the aisle, and you were cool with that. Like, I don't understand. Like, you forgave him. Like, we still getting married. Like, the day before he proposed. And mama was giving her some tough love. But I'm gonna tell you. So then she got mad, and she totally flipped, and she started defending him and talking about, but he's been there for me, and he's had my back, and he's done this, and he's done that, and ain't nobody had my back like he had my back, and da-da-da. So then you went from, you were the one beating him up all day, to defending him. Then she gonna say, now I need a cigarette. But what you just saying that you was trying to conceive and you was mad at him because he wasn't taking it seriously and he wasn't trying to lose weight and he wouldn't stop drinking for the doctor. I know you ain't supposed to be smoking if you trying to have a baby. I know you ain't supposed to be smoking. So she got mad, and she got mad at her mother because she felt like her mother is just so hard and unforgiving, and that her mother just talked to her like she was stupid and like she's not smart enough to make decisions for herself and da 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 da. And I'm just like, but I understood where your mother was coming from. And see, here's the problem that a lot of people have, and I had to tell my sister this. You can't always call me when something's wrong and then get mad at me when I don't never see what's right. And I feel like that's sort of what's going on, is that she calls her mother to complain about him. She calls her mother to probably borrow money because mama was real concerned. She was real interested in finding out where the money went, because I feel like they probably called her to borrow money to make bills, because it ain't nowhere in hell you're going to tell me that y'all don't have more than $45 at the end of every month and y'all ain't messed up and got behind on some bills and had to make them phone calls. Because hell, I didn't have to do it. Shit, when I was younger, I had to do it. But she was just saying how her mother was so hard and how her mother just doesn't understand. And so anyway, so the next morning she goes, the next day, you know, they meet with, Tracy, and, you know, they go over all of that or what have you. And so she says, well, maybe you and your mom need to have a talk. And Eric, I'm going to send you to go meet with a fitness expert so you can, you know, start taking your fitness seriously and understand what you need to do. Not just to, you know, for the purposes of having a baby, but also just for your own personal health. Because you can see the pictures of when they first met to where he is now. He has picked up a considerable amount of weight. The other thing we found out is the reason why she's in such a rush to have a child is because she is losing her sight. She has a degenerative, isn't that what's right? Degenerative. Did I say that right? Y'all know what I'm saying. Disease that is taking her sight. And she said she said, I want to be able to see my child. There's a strong possibility that I'm going to be blind, you know, in a few years. And I want to have a child while I can still see my child. So I definitely understood that. And I had a different mindset a little bit after that conversation. So then we saw her have the conversation with her mother. And she was trying to talk to her mother and explain to her mother how she felt. And her mother was like, look, if I don't think he's good enough, I don't think he's good enough. And if I don't think that you should be giving him so much of a leeway and you should be allowing him to treat you the way he treats you, then that is what it is. I'm your mother and I got to tell you right. Like, I can't lie to you. I can't tell you what you want to hear. I got to tell you what you need to hear. And what was funny was his mother was sitting there. And it was funny because she was talking about her son like he won't shit. And the mama was just sitting there like, I mean, I know she's talking about my son, but And I can definitely see how her mother is hard. But I really feel like it's coming from, you have probably called your mother and told your mother all of the bad. Because even when she went through the timeline, and that's what his friends were trying to tell her, like, you went through this timeline and you only told us one good thing out of all of the events that you have shown us. You only told us one good thing. We didn't hear, we still don't know about all the fun stuff, all the great, you know, about, you know, where y'all have gone on vacation, what y'all, you know, like, we still don't know the love story. We know the negative. And she said, well, that wasn't the task. The task was for me to tell y'all what y'all don't know. Y'all know about all that stuff. They were like, no, we don't. She was like, well, you know, we moved to Atlanta. You know, this happened, that. They were like, no, we don't. Like, we don't know all of it. And I feel like it was interesting that when she said, tell his family y'all's story, that what that translated in your mind was the negative. I find that interesting. So then we see him going to work out. Now, I was a little confused by this whole situation, because basically the fitness expert just basically told him he needed to lose some weight. And then they had this full workout in 100-degree weather and all of them was out there about to pass out. That wasn't my understanding about what was going to happen. I thought there was going to be a fitness expert that would go over nutrition, that would go over a workout plan. And maybe they edited all of that out and all they showed was the workout. But either way, Eric did a workout. And his boy stuck with him, and he said that he really does want to lose weight. He wants to get better, and it meant a lot to him that his boys did the workout with him, as hot as it was and everything, but that they stuck with him and that he really appreciated it. So then the final task was Tracy had them write down everything on a piece of paper, put it in the box, and they were going to bury the box. And her thing was, and when you bury it, that's it. I want you to leave it here. And when Chase went to write down that she was burying, that she really forgave him for the affair, and he stopped her and he told her, he said, listen, I don't want you to put that in the box if you don't mean it. Don't put it in the box if you can't do it. And which lets me know that she has not truly forgiven him for having an affair. And that she does keep throwing it in his face. But he told her, he said, listen, don't put it in that box if you don't mean it. But she said she did. She said she was ready. She understood that in order for them to do better, that she had to let go, that she understood that's what she had to do, and that's what she was ready to do. And so they did it, and they had the family come out and watch them bury the box. And the whole family had a moment. Both the moms cried, and I do think that in that moment, they understood the love that was there. Because my thing is this, I can definitely, we do only get to see a 72-hour edited down video of their life. Like I said, it don't matter. I wouldn't have got here because when the first time she cussed my mama out, it would have been over. So we would have never even got to this point. And the mama said that she would try to be nicer, that she wouldn't be as harsh. And they had a whole moment. And then when it was time for the blessing ceremony, everybody gave a blessing, and it came down to Chase's mama, because Chase's mama was the main one that was like, he cheated, once a cheater, always a cheater. He cheated on you once, he'll do it again. I don't know why you still doing this. I don't know why you still living with this man, why you still with this man, because he a cheater, he ain't shit type of thing. But the mother said, you know what? She said, it wasn't until the burial that I realized that I could get behind this marriage. And she said, and we should have added something else in that box. She said, we should have added my anger, my resentment, because I'm ready to move forward as well. So it was a good moment. And so she blessed it. So they got the blessing from the whole family. And they did actually get married in September. And so I wish them the best. Like, listen, everybody's situation ain't perfect. And like I said, I don't know the whole story. But they've gone to a fertility specialist. I hope she didn't stop smoking. Can't put it all on him. Anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.